And may I say Happy Valentine's Day. Now, I say Happy Valentine's Day knowing full well that there are a lot of different emotions regarding Valentine's Day. Sometimes it can be excitement and anticipation. For others, it's stress and anxiety, trying to find that perfect something. For some, it can be a celebration of a relationship, and for others, a reminding of an unfulfilled longing. But regardless, there's something we can all agree on that is great about Valentine's Day, and it's about the chocolate and the candy. And it's got to be universal. I mean, in these days in February, the grocery stores erupt with chocolate and little candies wrapped in pink and red. And on Valentine's Day, it's perfectly acceptable to give and receive candy, regardless of romantic interest. In schools, little cards are given. February 14th, you can find those little message hearts. You know what I'm talking about. The ones that say, I love you, or cutie pie, or be mine. And though these romantic messages are cute and a little childish, they do touch on a need that most humans feel. You can call it romantic inclination or desire to find the one. It's in our movies, it's in our songs, it's in our art, it's in our stories. Because on one level or another, it we belong with. And this is certainly nothing new to mankind. It didn't start with Valentine's Day or chocolates or candied hearts. The Song of Solomon or the Song of Songs has an interesting phrase that captures it perfectly. Found in chapter 6, verse 3. It says, I am my beloved, and he is mine. This captures the idea that we have, the desire that we have to belong to another person, and for that person to belong exclusive to us. And this bond of exclusivity brings with it certain security, safety, intimacy, and it's wonderful. This feeling of belonging, this is a truly wonderful thing, and it isn't restricted to romantic relationships. Yesterday's message, Jim mentioned the importance of being in a church body, belonging to a church. And belonging to part of a church certainly is, or certainly can be a wonderful thing. Relationships, the fellowships. But beyond belonging socially to a group of fellow believers, truly belonging to a church means first and foremost that we belong to Christ and that he belongs to us. God has desired this exclusive relationship with his people for thousands of years. In Jeremiah 32:38, God said, they will be my people and I will be their God. That's belonging to one another, relationships. And in that relationship, there's security, there's safety, there's intimacy, and it is a beautiful thing. But that kind of relationship has a price. For us, that price is exclusivity. The price that Jesus paid was much higher. The price he paid to enable this type of relationship was his own blood. When we accept him as our Savior, when we enter into a relationship with him, into that body, we become part of his bride. But to fully enjoy that relationship, that love with him, it requires exclusivity. I'm my beloved, and he is mine. Unfortunately, over time, things can creep into our hearts and steal bit by bit this exclusivity that should be the Lord's in our lives. That's why the last words of the Apostle John in his first epistle was, beware little children of idols. It seems like an odd way to end a letter, but in 1 John 5:21, he did this because he recognized that things can creep in and steal our attention. And sometimes the things that steal our attention are the very blessings that God gives us. Speaking of belonging to God and the blessings he gives us, there's a part in the Old Testament that has always challenged me. The verses in Numbers and later on when they're distributing the land, what was happening in Numbers? God had separated his people of Israel, taking them out of slavery and brought them to the desert where he was creating them. He was giving them all the law through Moses and through which they would be his people exclusively for himself. And he was talking about the land that he would give them, a land flowing of milk and honey to be their inheritance. He said in Numbers 20 or Numbers 18, 20, the Lord said to Aaron, You will have no inheritance in the land, nor will you have any share among them. I am your share and your inheritance among the Israelites. In other words, I am to be yours and you are to be mine. Aaron and his descendants, his tribe, they weren't to be distracted by the blessing, by the inheritance that God was giving their countrymen. Why? Because God was their portion. He was their share. He was their inheritance. It must have certainly been a strange thing when everybody else was entering the land and taking possession, moving in, establishing their territories, and the Levites were not. Levites were not. Their focus was somewhere else. Their safety, their security, their intimacy, their inheritance was somewhere else. I am my beloved's, and he is mine. Listen to what the psalmist said. The psalmist says, when in Psalm 16, 5 and 6, he says, Lord, you alone are my portion and my cup. You make my lot secure. The boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Surely I have a delightful inheritance. That's the psalmist being content with God as his portion, God as his. I am my beloved's, and he is mine. Regardless of your relationship status, regardless of where you fit in your feeling of Valentine's Day, may you remember this Valentine's Day, whose you ultimately are, and may that be the source of your celebration. Have a great day.